That was Van Hees from a high-ish position. He might have to start a little bit further down already. Conditions catching out drivers. But we have Rust taking the pole position, Yuri Schoens in second place. Then it's Bergstein in third, Van Hees in fourth, we just saw there, struggling to get away. Hendricks in fifth, Turlove in sixth place, Peters in seventh place, Stevens in eighth, Falk in ninth, and Valkenaars in 10th. And we've got Balk in 11th place, Van der Hout in 12th, Noren in 13th place with Menton in 14th, Van Vliet in 15th place, Zerveld in 16th place, Navis in 17th place, Westhovens in 18th place, 19th place for Van der Meer, 20th place for Blautigheim, 21st place for Goos, 22nd place for Herrera, 23rd place for Van Maastricht, 24th place for Liechtenstein, and 25th place for Kampmann. So those are our 25 drivers. That's how they look, that's how they stand in this race. We know one will not take the running then, that was Blurm, who was withdrawn from the racing action. And so we'll see how it goes then. 10 minutes on the board then for our drivers, plus 2 laps for our final pre-final of the day. We will have a short break after this one. It will be a short break before we head into the finals. But drivers slowing down now, getting ready to take starters' orders. Rolling starts here for our senior Maxes. Keen and eager to get this one started, I'm sure. Wetsuits on, wet tyres on, and everything in between. So, drivers now make their way through in towards the hairpin. Let's see how this all shapes up then. Out of the hairpin they will go then. It's Rust and Schoens on the front row of the grid then. Eyes on the lights. Are they going to extinguish? Yes, they are. We go racing then. And well timed then from Rust. He will take the inside line going through and towards turn 1. And now up towards the hairpin. Braking distances are increased in the wet. There's contact there in the background. High up the order. One kart having to take action. 2 karts involved in that as well. As drivers see that, well, it's a little bit more treacherous down in towards the hairpin than it was last time around. You see the spray being kicked up now with the standing water on the circuit. And one kart has come to a stop completely there on the grass. Didn't quite see who it was, but we're at least down one runner in this race, in this pre-final. On the first lap, you see just drivers taking slightly different lines all the way throughout. And if you're up at the front, you're loving this because you've got no spray. Anyone further behind? Oh, a spinner in the background. That's the 349. Off into the gravel goes Jay Zerveld. And a little bit of a, well, it's just one of those spins that happens in these wet weather conditions. He's trying to pull the kart back onto the circuit, so at least he can get going again. That is a huge disappointment for Jay Zerveld there. He will get the kart back out onto track and he will get going again, but he will be down the order. The 371 has now joined the race as well. It's Stein Peters who has joined into the racing action. There's a spin down at one of the hairpins then. At the first hairpin, I should say, turn 2 as well. There's all sorts of action going on everywhere you look around the circuit. Difficult to keep up, but that's what a bit of wet weather can do. Make things very unpredictable. And with this standing water on the circuit, it just seems so much more wet than it was this morning as well. And that may be catching out drivers at this stage. It's raining heavier than it was as well. But no issues so far for Rost, who leads the way then. Devian Rost. Oh, and 2 cars off into the gravel now. One of them trying to keep going is the 316 there. Maurice Kampmann does rejoin onto the circuit. There was one before, but both of them managed to recover, but just seems now it's so treacherous. Once again, has the flying left-hander. The penultimate, what now is now the slowing down part of the circuit. But Rust takes the lead at the moment. leads the way in these wet weather conditions, if you like, fording the waters that are formed here in Kerpen. Second place right now is the 382, which is Stevens. Ty Stevens, who is looking to try and close in as much as possible. And in third place down in the order is the number 342, which is Matthias Turlo. Healthy gap between our top three at the moment. It's roughly equidistant. It's 4.4 seconds separating our top three. And we look a further 2 seconds back for fourth place in Valkenars, a further 2 seconds back for Menton, and then we see a couple of karts doing battle there. We've got Menton, Westhovens and Hendricks all looking to make some moves and make some battles in the early stages of this race. There's a river formed at Kerpen, I think. And you just see how the KZ2 struggled for grip last time out. You can see why. It's just so treacherous out there. The 334 has just, I believe, gained a position there. Scott Westhovens gaining a position there. So that's, I believe, up into fourth place now. As we make our way across the line. It'll be for fifth place, my apologies, for Westhovens. For Röst, though, very much building the gap then. All Röst needs to do at this stage. And Ty Stevens is 3 seconds back, but I would say comfortable. You can't really be comfortable in these wet conditions unless you're really tuned in. Closing in behind him though as well to keep an eye on is that 342. So Matthias Turlo currently in third place, looking to close down on second place at the moment with 5 minutes left on the clock. We will see how it can all play out, how it can all pan out from this position. Good little battle to keep an eye on then, as that's another one off into the gravel. That looks like it's the 314 of Ruben Lichtenstein. And Lichtenstein off into the gravel, and another one off into the gravel as well, the 316. That's Maurice Kerpen again off into the gravel there. Turn 7 just catching so many out, and what that's doing then, once these drivers rejoin onto the track as well, they bring a little bit of gravel, they spread a bit of gravel onto the track as well, so that just adds to how slippery it will be out there. As Ruben Lichtenstein still trying to pull his kart across, I think. Will he try and get that kart back into the race? We'll wait and see. Certainly trying to adjust the kart. But I think Ruben might be calling it a day there. Off into the gravel. At least in this pre-final. So we have battling on the cards here in these really treacherous conditions then. That's the 332 of Ryan van der Meer, who is trying to find his way through, trying to find little bits of a little bit of grip out there. What little grip there is, he's trying to find it. And it's proven to be oh so tricky out there. Just makes a case. Oh, and another one off. That's the 316. That's Maurice Kerpen again. Off into the gravel. He is not liking the fast left-hander today. As once again he's off into the gravel, he will try and pull that kart once again back onto the track to rejoin. But we've got movers and shakers as we make our way through in towards the first corner. There's action everywhere you look at the moment. And it's one of those races where you're not sure where to look. There's the 365. And that's Schoens, who started up on the front row. 2.5 minutes left of the race to run then, and it is Rust who still leads the way by 3.9 seconds ahead of Thijs Stevens. Plenty of water to keep our drivers on their toes at this stage. There goes the 3:45 to start another lap in this race with just over 2 minutes left on the clock. 3:72's got a good run here. That's going to be Noren on Navis as we make our way back onto the power. You see on the inside line a look over the shoulder, and that is the 3:72 upper position. Then Noren passing, I believe that's Hendricks as well, in the 3:26. Yes, it is. Through and towards the hairpin we go. So but Noren's one of these that's liking his conditions right now. Fastest lap of the race goes to Rust at the moment at 58.3, and some of our lap times are in the mid 58s, some in the low 59s, some are up into the 60 seconds at the moment. So it's really a tale of if you can find the grip out there, if you can find the pace. The trouble is as well how much confidence you have in the grip in the next corner. It's almost like you have to foresee how much grip you will have in the next corner, which is just not easy to do. With the way that it is raining, it's going to change every single lap, sometimes with your braking points, with your turning points as well. Having a look then at the 3:06 making the way through. And 3:06 is Navis then, so that's going to be Navis trying to chase down Hendricks for what is 9th position at the moment. I see Rust just making his way through in towards the hairpin. Start another lap here. There will be 3 laps to go here. There's still 13 seconds on the clock when he crosses the line. And it seems like it's one of those where Davion Rust looks like he's absolutely loving these conditions right now. He's been constantly and consistently in the lowish 58 seconds. Last lap was a 58.4, and he's been setting 58.4s consistently throughout this race. And compare that to Thijs Stevens, a 59.3 from Thijs on the last lap. Means that the gap opened up by nearly 1 second on that last lap alone. There's the 3:21, trying to see if they can find a position here. Lots of battles up and down the order to keep your eye on. Davion Rust then making his way through in towards the hairpin, putting the power down. And now we have 2 laps to go then as he crosses the line. Again, looking to just keep on building that gap. Very comfortable at the moment here. Just needs to keep doing what he's doing. In fact, he could do better than that apparently, because he's just set the fastest lap of the race, 58.291 from Davion Rust there. A new fastest lap of the race, just as Stevens sets a 58.5. So Thijs Stevens trying to up the pace, but Davion Rust was 1 step ahead of him there. Gap is now 5.9 seconds, but Rust might have a bit of lappery to deal with as well. Always a tricky one, especially in the wet, but Rust does manage to negotiate his way through the traffic. He should have now clear air, clear running to get to the end of the race now. He'll put the foot down to start the final lap of this race. And pole position to a race win never is as easy as it sounds, especially in these very tricky wet conditions. But Davion Rust has really just put the foot down, made sure he's comfortable, he's got into a rhythm, and right now there's no stopping him as there is a cart stopped on the left-hand side. There will be yellow flags through there anyway. Davion Rust doesn't need any yellow flags to avoid any overtaking action happening. He's happy where he is. He's been very comfortable race long here. at managing these weather conditions as he makes his way now through in towards the final sweeping section. In towards the hairpin we go. And as he puts the power down once again, it's going to be a race victory for Devian Rust, who takes the victory in the pre-final for the senior maxes. Second place, Ty Stevens. Third place goes to the 3-4-2 then of Matthias Terlov. Volkanars in fourth, Vestovens in fifth, Menton in sixth, with Schoens in seventh from the front row of the grid. Noren in eighth. Navis and Hendrick had a nice little battle along the way. It was Navis who won out on that one ahead of Hendricks. Hendricks did try to close down in the end then. 4/10 quicker than Navis in the last lap, but ran out of time, ran out of laps to close down. Vandermeer, Van der Hout 11th and 12th. Bark across the line 13th. Van Maastricht in 14th place. Falk across the line in 15th place. And I wonder then if that stranded car will probably be Broutigam. No, Broutigam has taken the flag, so it's probably going to be Herrera then, the 38888. Well, there is your results then for the final pre-final of the day, and the final pre-final for the Max Seniors. It's Devian Rust who takes the victory by 5.1 seconds ahead of Ty Stevens. Matthias Terlo in third place with Jur Volkanars in fourth place. Scott Vestovens in fifth place with Jake Benton in sixth. Yuri Schoens in seventh with Chris Noren in eighth. Kevin Navas in ninth place, and Hendricks rounds off the top 10. Van der Meer is in 11th, Van der Hout in 12th, Bark in 13th with Van Maastricht in 14th, Falk in 15th, Brotegeim in 16th place, Zerveld in 17th, Gers in 18th, Herrera will be classified as 19th, Kampman rounds off the top 20. Non-finishers then, Benjamin Van Hees, Ruben Lichtenstein, Siem Van Vliet, Sam Bergstein and Stein Peters, all non-finishers in that race. And there's our pre-finals done and dusted. And we look forward to the finals coming up.